Dr. Ryan Harris floated through the narrow passageway of the orbital research station. The ever-present hum of the life support systems was a constant reminder of the delicate balance that sustained them. It was pleasing to hear its monotonous drone, for without it, there was only death. But then, if one thought about things like that, or the fact that there was only ever an extremely thin slice of metal between human skin and the cold vacuum of space, you could easily slip into uncontrollable anxiety. His only company, Commander Jack Sullivan, was at the control panel, his fingers dancing over the touchscreen as he reviewed the latest telemetry data from the swirling blue planet below. They were awaiting the arrival of their new companions, fresh faces to see every day, a mix of the Earth's best, here to progress science in zero gravity, to live the ISS dream. But Jack's face dropped with concern at the data before him. Looks like the solar flare activity's increasing, he noted, his voice calm but with an edge of concern. We'll need to double-check the shielding on the external modules. Ryan nodded, pushing himself towards the viewport where he could see the brilliant blue arc of Earth against the backdrop of the infinite void. It never ceased to amaze, this view, its beauty, its wonder, its fragility. The atmosphere looked so thin from up here. How could that possibly protect us? From this far away, he always had the same thoughts run through his head when he looked down upon that blue ball. History. Everything that ever was. Everything that has ever been. Anyone who ever was. All happened down there. People's lives, his parents' lives, their grandparents, wars, revolutions, pirates, cowboys, ancient civilizations, dinosaurs. Everything we've ever known, it all happened down there. But today it felt different. There was a tension in the air, an unease, an unspoken worry shared between the two seasoned astronauts.
I'll suit up and inspect the panels.
Good. I'll be watching.
Yeah, I know you will. Watching for my mistakes.
Hey, you don't make mistakes.
Sure thing, boss.
As Ryan floated to the equipment locker and began the methodical process of donning his bulky EVA suit, his mind slipped to darker places. The routine was ingrained in his muscle memory, each step a practiced motion in the ballet of space operations. It allowed him time for thought. Only these thoughts were the ones he was trying to eradicate. These thoughts were unwanted, for he had had a good life, good friends, a great job. But for some reason, a reason he couldn't shake, he felt down, always down, and he could never quite place why. There was no real reason behind it. Maybe just that life had grown tiresome somehow, despite his actions and the love of those around him. As he secured his helmet, Jack's voice came through the comms, steady and reassuring. Take your time getting there, mate. We don't need any heroics.
Yeah, got it, Commander. I'll be back in before you know it.
Good. I don't want to be meeting new people on my own.
Where are they from again?
One's Japanese and the other is Italian.
I hope you brushed up on your languages.
I know enough.
Oh, really? You have to teach me a few things then.
One step at a time, pal. Let's make sure these modules are secure.
I'm on it.
The airlock hissed as it depressurized, and the outer hatch opened to the stark brilliance of space. Ryan double-checked that the fastened harness of his safety tether was properly secure before he stepped out onto the station's exterior. The last thing anyone wanted was to be drifting out to space alone. The vast expanse of blackness, of nothingness, stretched out before him. An awe-inspiring tapestry of stars that seemed both incredibly close and impossibly far. It was full, it was empty, it was beautiful and terrifying. Moving with practiced ease, he made his way to the solar panels. As he inspected each module, his eyes scanned for any signs of damage or degradation. The panels were their lifeline, converting the sun's energy into power for the station's systems. Any disruption could spell disaster, especially with the looming threat of increased solar activity.
Panels 1 and 2 look good. I'm moving to panel 3.
Roger that. Keep an eye out for any micrometeoroid impacts. The last data dump showed increased activity in our sector.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I found something.
What you got, Ryan?
It looks like a micro hit for sure. I'm gonna run a diagnostic.
Okay, understood. Just be aware that solar activity is increasing. Ryan nodded, although the gesture was lost in the vacuum as he floated over the third panel. His movements precise and deliberate as he inspected the small irregular impact mark on the panel's surface. Slowly, he pulled out a handheld scanner and ran the machine over the damaged area, watching the readout carefully. The results were concerning. The impact had caused a minor breach, and if left unchecked, it could compromise the panel's efficiency.
Jack, we've got a problem. The hit has caused a breach. It's minor, but it needs repair.
Understood. Let's not take any chances. I'm sending the repair kit your way. Ryan floated, waiting patiently. He couldn't help but admire the serene beauty around him now. It was moments like these that made the risks worth it. The silence, the humbling reminder of humanity's place in the universe. Yet the tranquility of space also underscored its inherent danger, both physically and mentally. For in this quiet void, once the wonder had passed, only you remained. Only your thoughts which consumed you, and sunk you into whichever mood currently resided within your mind. And for Ryan, it was far from peace. It was a sadness, a deep sadness from an unknown source, an unknown reason. He was surprised he'd even passed his psych evaluation to get here, but then he was good at putting on a false front, and he was good at his job. He was good at the things he could control. Unfortunately, his mind was not always one of those things. Suddenly, the hatch to the airlock hissed and opened, and a small robotic arm extended, holding the repair kit. Ryan snapped back into action, grasping it and setting back to work. The kit contained specialized patches designed for exactly this kind of situation, and he carefully applied them to the breach, his gloved hands moving with the precision of a surgeon, albeit an extremely slow one.
Patches in place. Running another diagnostic.
Understood.
Huh. That's weird. I'm trying again.
Ryan, come back inside. We've got another data set to analyze.
In 2 minutes, I'm just rerunning the diagnostic.
Ryan shut down the scanner, his eyes lingering on the distant Earth as he did so. The reset seemed to be taking longer than usual.
What's the latest, Jack?
More activity from the sun. The solar flare intensity is increasing faster than we anticipated. We need to prepare for potential communications blackouts and power surges. Ryan took a deep breath. Solar flares could disrupt everything, from their life support systems to navigation controls, not to mention the very real damage to human bodies without the sufficient protection of specifically designed radiation shielding pods.
Let's run a full systems check. Ensure all backups are operational and that we're shielded as best we can be.
Already on it, Ryan. Can you please just come back inside now? That's in order.
It's resetting now. We have to know this has worked. I'll apply another patch while we're waiting.
Ryan delved back into the repair kit as Jack toured the station. He checked each system meticulously, confirming that the shielding was optimum, shutting down any unneeded electrical equipment, reducing the risk of fires, and checking that all the critical systems had malfunction kill switches in place. As they worked, a sudden jolt rocked the station. The alarm sounded throughout the corridors as the red and orange lights flashed in tandem. Ryan grabbed hold of the panel, his heart racing.
What the fuck was that, Jack?
I'm on my way back to the command room now.
This damn scanner isn't working anymore. I've applied another patch. Hopefully it holds.
Okay, great, Ryan, but can you get back on the fucking station now? We need to—
I'm on my way. Jack? What's happening, Jack? Jack? What's happening, Jack?
Massive solar flare just hit us. Main power is fluctuating. Switching to secondary systems. Jack's fingers flew over the touchscreen. We've lost contact with mission control. Switching to emergency comms. We need to head to the shielding pod, now. he said, while he activated the emergency protocol, which rerouted their communications through a different set of satellites. There was a moment of tense silence before a crackling voice came through.
ISS, this is Mission Control. Do you read?
We read your control. We've been hit by a massive solar flare. Main power is compromised. Switching to secondary systems.
Roger that, ISS. We're seeing the same on our end. Hang tight. We're working on re-establishing a stable link. All on board, okay?
I'm in the radiation shielding pod now, but Ryan is still out there.
ISS, it is crucial that all personnel are located in the shielding pod. This is mission critical priority.
Ryan! Oh God, Ryan, for God's sake, come in, Ryan. You need to get in now. We've gotta... The words that followed faded into blackness, like the radiation that was presently passing through his body. Ryan had made it halfway to the airlock before he witnessed the beauty of the sun casting the earth in a heavenly golden glow, the very sight nearly bringing him to tears. And for some inexplicable reason, he stopped, and he sat down, and he watched as the brilliant bright flickers of radiation passed through his eyes, each one like an internal shooting star in his brain. The solar winds pushed him back gently, and as the light reflected upon those particles, it lit the space in front of him in a beautiful rainbow of colors, crashing into him, bouncing around him, going through him. His skin began to scorch and burn. His neural pathways altered with each passing second. His central nervous system failing, his lungs failing, breath shortening. His cognitive awareness somehow lifted from sadness. And a realization suddenly and blissfully consumed him. There was nothing left for him here, nor down there on Earth. And he felt relieved, for he couldn't think of a more beautiful way to go. And as the colorful beams continued to assault his vision, they were eventually cast away as he closed his eyes, disconnected his harness, and let the gentle winds take him away. His peace, his serenity, finally found.